That's Mike. He's going down before me because it's all aboard for the Skylark, or in this case, the North Coast Explorer, because we're going to take a trip to Stroma.
If you could try stepping straight onto the turn.
Oh my giddy aunt. Okay, don't you there. Oh, got your now. Let's have a bleep. Right, we're just leaving where now, Mike?
We're just leaving John O'Groats Harbour now. We're just clearing the jet just now to get some weed on the water intake to the jet drive, so just blowing that away. That's what the noise was there just now.
But this is a funny looking boat.
This is a rigid inflatable hulled boat. It's one of the most seaworthy craft you can be on, so you have no worries in that.
And is it, you know, I'm never worried. For some unknown reason, I just love things like this.
Right.
But I've never been on a boat like this, so what makes it different to the others?
Main thing that makes it different is the rib's got inflatable tubes down either side, but she's got a solid hull, so you've got a lot of positive buoyancy. Basically, we've got about 8 tons of positive buoyancy in this craft.
And I take 7 of that.
And you take 7 of that, yeah, but we can share the other ton. Yeah.
But it's brilliant, isn't it? Is that because you go pretty fast, or because the Pentland Firth and these waters are full of whirlpools and eddies?
That's pretty much the case, both really. We can go very fast in the craft if we want to, but the Pentland Firth is one of the most notorious stretches of water in the world, really. We get some of the fastest tidal races through here of anywhere in the world.
7 treacherous miles, I read once about that.
Yeah, well, we get 7 or 8 tides meeting at one point just off the north end of Stroma, which we may see today, and that's called the Swilky, and basically it's just a big whirlpool that boils up. And the Norsemen used to have a legend that there was a sea witch at the bottom grinding salt, and that's what made the sea salty.
Really?
And it's also made the big whirlpool, yeah.
I love those myths and legends.
Yeah.
Are there any about Stroma where we're going? Is it one of the Orkneys?
No, it's actually part of Caithness. It's part of the Caithness mainland,
Is it?
so it's not part of the Orkneys, yeah.
Well, that's strange, isn't it? It's just
It's
stuck
a bit
on its
strange,
own.
yeah. It's just the way it was dealt with.
So what other things should we be looking out for? Seals or...?
We should see a lot of seals. Most of them are going to be Atlantic grey seals. That's the biggest population we have around the island here, but we should see a few common seals as well.
And what about other wildlife?
Other wildlife, a lot of bird life just now. We've got great black-backed gulls, herring gulls, quite a few black guillemots about just now. And hopefully we'll see quite a lot of gannets, which are quite spectacular. Large birds, but they dive straight into the sea. It's quite impressive watching them diving in.
Now this doesn't feel at all lumpy. It's actually quite smooth, isn't it, today?
Yeah, it is.
When is it... Well, what's it like when it's really horrendous?
Well, if you'd been here 2 days ago, you would have seen it then. We had force-8 gales from the southeast, and it was very lumpy out here. You wouldn't enjoy it so much when
Do
it's
you
like that.
still take the boat out?
No, we're not. I mean, we come out here to play about ourselves in it, because the boat's very capable, but we wouldn't take passengers out in it.
You would have a lot of people feeling pretty ill.
Pretty ill, I think.
Yeah. So, is there anything special about Stroma?
Stroma Island itself has been deserted now since about 1961 was the last inhabitants left it then. And then the lighthouse keepers left it in 1994 when the lighthouse was automated, so it's just inhabited by sheep now. It's used basically as a farm. The reason it was left was really just people bled away. The youth started leaving. The Dounreay nuclear power station opened up, and so they could get much better wages from going along there. And it was very expensive transport between the mainland and the island all the time. And as we mentioned earlier on, this stretch of water is very treacherous, you know, so there's a lot of time you just can't go across it.
So this is your living now. Were you trained on the sea? Were you a mariner? Well, you still are.
Well, most of my sort of learning was through diving. I've been diving now for about 25 years, 15 years of that in these waters, so we've been driving small boats about in these waters that length of time, so we get to know all the areas and the sea conditions, and you really have to know what you're doing in the Pentland Firth.
Oh, I bet you do. And what about wrecks here? Are there any famous wrecks?
Not so much in these waters, but when a wreck comes around here, it tends to get broken up very quickly because of the size of the waves and the storms, etc. We will be able to show you what's left of a wreck on the island today, the Bettina Danica, which was a Danish coaster that came aground in 1994 on a lovely sunny afternoon, Saturday afternoon, about 1:30, and nobody on the bridge, just sailed into the island.
Straight in?
Straight in, so we can show you the remains of that.
These waters, are they so, well, volatile because of the narrowness of the channel, and it's where the Atlantic meets the North Sea?
That's exactly it, yeah.
It's two
You have
seas.
the tide coming in from Atlantic, it's hitting the Orkney Islands and it's funneled in through here. It's meeting the tides coming up from the North Sea. So we get very fierce tidal races around here. Basically, a lot of them are caused. We have a famous one just out here that forms when the tide's flooding when it's coming in, called the Duncansby Bores. And that's actually caused by the tide starting to come in from the west. So it's moving in that direction on the surface, but underneath it's still going east. And so the two just collide and you get just a line of white water. It's quite impressive to watch. Well, even more impressive to go through.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to this, and I really love the Viking legend about the sea witch grinding the salt.
You would think it's been man-made. It's just as if the rocks
beautiful.
This is. You can just see, sort of looking through where the roof of the cave is falling in.
Yes.
It's just a big hole in the ground, basically, in the island.
Incredible. Mike, this boat seems very unusual, very different to anything I've ever been on before.
Yeah, we've got a jet drive in the boat, Russell, so basically we have no propeller. What pushes her along is just a jet of water being pushed out a nozzle. So that pushes her along. If we want to slow down or stop, we just push a bucket down in front of that jet and it changes the direction of the boat. But that makes her very manoeuvrable. The cave that we were just in just now, called the Gloop, is 35.5 foot wide. The boat is 35 foot long, and yet we can turn her in there, so we've got about 2.5 inches at either end of the boat to play with.
He's a good driver then.
He's very good, yeah. I taught him myself.
Oh, well, that's why, a good teacher. But this is all very buoyant as well. Is this all blown up?
Yeah, these tubes around the collar are filled up with air. There's 7 separate compartments, so even if we got a hole in one of them, we wouldn't be losing any buoyancy. Plus we've got 5 watertight compartments in the boat underneath us, so even if all the tubes go flat, we've still got a lot of positive buoyancy. So I think we'll get you back to shore okay.
Could you lose the air though? Could they get punctured?
They could get punctured, yeah, but as I say, because there's 7 separate compartments, we'd be very unlucky to puncture all 7 at once.
And how fast can we go?
The fastest we've had is about 38 knots, which is maybe 45 miles an hour. Which is quite fast over the water.
It is. You could use this for whitewater rafting then.
We do.
I feel I'm doing it now.